So the next section before we get into the Q&A is I'd like to actually go through your why you believe in God, like what evidence that you do have. And when we spoke over Twitter, messaging back and forth, you said there were two things. You said there was a logical side of things that get you to a creator. So they get you to like there is a creator of the universe or there is a God. And then after you've fixed that problem, you move on to, and therefore Christianity is that God. Like, so you have two parts of it. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, they're intertwined because I don't think reasoning happens without emotion or reason. We're always, as humans, weighing and using both aspects. But, I mean, the way I sort of get there is a cumulative case. I mean, for one, I start with what evidence do we have for God's existence? Well, I mean, you don't really... It's about comparing worldviews. It's about comparing naturalism to theism, which is going to explain far more with less. So which worldview as a whole is going to have more explanatory scope, explanatory power, more plausibility is going to be the least ad hoc. And when I see things like cosmological arguments, teleological, moral arguments from consciousness, the stuff I've been using for digital physics and that kind of stuff, I just think theism is more parsimonious. It's simpler. It explains far more with less. It doesn't have all these open-ended questions. It doesn't have different explanations for different aspects. It can explain it all with one simple thing, namely that there is a personal force behind the universe. So, I mean, even if you could deconvert me from Christianity, I would still be a theist. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of good evidence in that direction. And when you read, debates between competing arguments between people like the atheist Graham Oppy or Richard Swinburne, I think Richard Swinburne comes out on top with the simplicity of his worldview. So then it's like, okay, well, if there is a moral God, if there is a all-loving God, he would have likely revealed himself to us. What is the most likely religion out there that's going to have the most evidence? And so again, there's another cumulative case. I'm not a minimal facts guy when it comes to the resurrection. I want to know there's good evidence to support Old Testament. I want to know there's good evidence to support New Testament and the reliability of the New Testament. Then it's building up facts from there, like for the resurrection. I mean, that's going to be the core. That's what Paul says is the core of our faith. And I think there's a lot of good evidence for it. I mean, even as Anthony Flew admitted when he never became a Christian, but he said, I mean, the resurrection is that one miracle that has a lot more evidence than all other sorts of miracle claims. So, I mean, going through the evidence, for me, it's very clear that is going to be the simplest explanation. Now, I'll get atheists that say, yeah, but miracles are always the least probable. It's more extraneous. I mean, yeah, but I feel like that's more of a quality comparison. I'm interested in quantity of assumptions, quantity of explanations. And I think when it comes to the quantity, the resurrection explanation is going to be the simplest in terms of that. So again, it's applying that same standards: explanatory scope, power, least ad hoc, plausibility, illumination. Now, when I say that, people kind of go like, okay, great. But why be a Christian? And so what I kind of get from that is more of like the emotional aspect. Like, what, if Christianity is true, what does this even mean? Like, what is sort of going on here? And the other aspect of why I'm a Christian is I think it's the best explanation to humanity. Why we are the way we are, what we need in life, what is driving us, what is going to be the most likely to call us to be the virtuous agents we feel like we ought to be, what is going to drive us to be a good person, and what's going to be the most fulfilling in terms of humanity's role in the universe, how we see ourselves, and if there's a God exists, how he would relate to us. I don't think Islam comes close. I don't think aspects of Hinduism come close. I think Judaism gets there, but it's incomplete. It doesn't have the final chapter that brings everything the Old Testament is pointing to together. I think Christianity brings it together. And recently, right now I'm reading Tom Holland's book, Dominion, and I'm just like, and he's an atheist. And I'm like, yes, the power of the story. I get what you're saying here, Tom. Like, that's it. It's this power, the power of the story of this pauper who was raised in the backwaters of Galilee, but he's also the creator of the universe. And he comes down, lives this depressing, sad life, and dies the death we should die. It's that power of the story that Holland is getting at that I think Christianity has that really makes it excel in terms of worldviews.